Ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing criminal investigations and indictments by the Obama administration of people that work for the federal government who just talk to Fox News and tell them their opinion. That's what reporters do. We call people, sources in the government, and we try to get their opinion. Hey, what do you think's going to happen? Not what's classified, but what do you personally think is going on with Kim Jong-un? Oh, well, we'll just arrest you. And I guess they're looking at arresting Fox News reporters. And even the London Guardian is saying this is authoritarian chilling effect and is incredibly dangerous. The president of the Associated Press, which you don't get any more establishment than that, is saying this is unconstitutional and dangerous, what's going on. And that a massive chilling effect has already taken place. That's some of what's coming up today. And you notice when they have White House spokesmen out there, who do they really attack? DrudgeReport.com. And their surrogates, like Media Matters, that's admittedly White House run, obsesses on Infowars.com. And all the other Democratic Party run sites. And again, I'm just a constitutionalist. I fear the Republican machine. The issue, though, is I've never seen anything like Obama. It is at light speed, the tyranny that we're seeing unfold. Adam Kokesh, you know, I heard Saturday he'd been arrested at a pro-marijuana legalization rally for not even smoking pot. I saw the video, and now we've confirmed that they're still holding him in a federal prison. See, he walked on federal land. They used at a federal park in Philadelphia. They used that as the quickest way to grab him. And then now he's charged today, reportedly they're going to charge him with resisting. So the cart before the horse. They come up and grab you. You put your hands up. They throw you on the ground. And then you're arrested for them assaulting you. Cart before the horse. How do you get arrested for resisting arrest? What was the reason to arrest you? Most states have laws saying you can't do that. Courts have thrown it out for the feds. They don't care. So that article is up on Infowars.com. Activists rally to free Adam Kokesh, calls floods, seeks to secure release of former Marine kidnapped for exercising First Amendment. And we've got his libertarian cohorts, Lucas Jewell and Daryl Young, who were on last night with us, popping in at the bottom of the hour. When they would go to the jail, they would yell at them and tell them, we're not going to tell you even where he is. So that's eyewitnesses that had this happen. They're in Philadelphia right now. Covering this, and now the reports are coming out on their Facebook. We'll find out when they come on that when you call the federal prison, you know, skip court, skip trials, just go directly to federal prison, you know, NDAA style. They reportedly they're saying we blew his head off. Now we haven't confirmed this yet. You're like, man, that's a terroristic threat. That's a felony. Feds don't care. I mean, hell, they like burn up little kids and roast marshmallows while they're doing it. They ship in narcotics. This country's far and run. They want you to know this is their country. That's why they're arresting press and, you know, doing all this. This is, you know, this is their nation. And then they deserve a peace prize for it. So we're going to be breaking down this. And again, they need to break your will. That's what the TSA bobbing for, you know, goodies in your pants is for. That's what all of this is about. So that's coming up after the break. There's an incredible article up on Infowars.com that's in the local news. And they reported in the local news like it's a good thing. Italian shotgun maker at a gun show loaded the fine shotguns into the vehicle legally, lawfully. And the snitch program, the taxi driver, called the police on him. And they still arrested him even though no law was violated and told him get out.
Hello, this is Hank Hill, and I'm telling you what, you need to listen to Alex Jones.
Yeah. Infowars.com, yeah.
Judge, what is the secret of the universe?
Infowars.com, yeah.
So when you're waiting for the next to 10.
You better stand. There's no turning back. The bugle sounds, the charge begins. But on this battlefield, no one wins. And that's what all the fools joining the New World Order are going to realize. Joining the dehumanization, joining the guilds of psychopaths and sadists and control freaks. You are destroying our entire future by selling out to this New World Order. All right, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen, on this live Monday edition, the 20th day of May, 2013. We have Lucas Jewell and Daryl Young joining us about political prisoner Adam Kokesh, who went on to a federal park in Philadelphia and was grabbed and disappeared into a federal prison. And reportedly, they're saying some pretty obscene stuff when you call and ask where he's at. They just can't wait to fully go after everybody, folks, and feel sorry for them. They've taken our restraint as a sign of weakness when it's the opposite. Also, Kristen Megan is on. She was in the Air Force and is an insider, just gone public last week, whistleblower. She'd given a couple speeches, and she went public on nightly news last week. And I saw this interview with Jakari Jackson and had my mouth hanging open because everything she said fits my deep research on the admitted programs, but the details are classified. This is the Air Force weather modding, geoengineering, terraforming to whatever they want for the climate here. That's coming up at the bottom of the next hour. And then in studio, Joel Skousen will give us his take on all of the different Benghazi gates, IRS gate, press spying gate, all of that in studio. He's here to be interviewed for Obama Deception 2. And he'll also be on the nightly news with yours truly tonight. We're going to look at why strategic relocation. Not because we're in fear, but because we're in charge. And specifically, where are the elite going? Just so happens I've noticed that, where Joel Skousen recommends is where the elite are going. And, of course, Joel Skousen won't say this on air. It's not a secret, but he advises billionaires, millionaires, you name it. I mean, he really is the top of his game, building high-security houses and other type fortresses. So he's going to be joining us in studio today, always informative, and survived a 1 in a million plane crash about a month ago that made national news. The plane completely destroyed. He survived with a small scratch on his head. He certainly is counting his lucky stars, his lucky angels on that front. So Joel Skousen is going to be joining us. Okay, this is happening worse and worse, and I have a burning frustration once I get off air every day that I don't cover everything. Like, I'm lucky if I get 20% of it. Let me just try to do it this way. And God, give me strength. Let me do it this one time and just read the stinking headlines instead of commenting on them. Because, I mean, I studied last night. I studied this morning. I get in here. I go over it all, and I get so angry looking at it. It's so over the top. Let me just try to read you these headlines. Some of these, let's just start with stuff I didn't get to yesterday. Okay? Let's just start with that. This is from Reuters. Taxes on some wealthy French tops 100% of income. And that's one of the major newspapers there in France breaking that down. Reuters reports 100%, while the EU bureaucrats are exempt and pay zero, and that's come out. I'm sorry, I said I'd only read the headline. It's 100 times worse. This is their plan. Total slavery. Google insider exposes immoral tax scam. Top Google executive goes public and says that they have a scam to pay zero tax. Sunday Times of London. Oh, they're so liberal. Suicide nets at Apple. Merkel and Pope talk about strong Europe. USA Today, oh, it's strong, imploding national sovereignty, bankrupting families. Dear class of 2013, you've been scammed. The Wall Street Journal, how the college industrial complex drove tuition so high. I've been saying that for 17 years on air. So has people like Gerald Celente. Oh, but we're wrong telling you. Folks, I was in college and knew it was going to be worthless. I already knew more about RTF than they were teaching me because I went out and read books by famous directors and researchers and radio hosts. And my parents like, oh, you're not going to go to college? You're going to drop out? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go get a job. And I did. And here I am. Unbelievable. And then people always lecture me, you don't have a college degree? Like it's going to get to me. Hey, you go bag groceries at the grocery store with your PhD, okay? I'll try to take the world back. How's that sound? All right, I'm not putting people down that have college degrees. It's just don't ring knock. You know what a ring knocker is? They take their college ring and they go on the table. I've actually had it done. I'm like, what the? You want some crony job? If you want to go get a crony job, the most important thing at college is the fraternities. That's the only reason to go to college, is if you're going to try to get in the right fraternity and do whatever you've got to get into that elite fraternity. That has some value. It's nepotism. All right, let's continue here, ladies and gentlemen, to give a little college course here on how to actually go to college if you are. The IRS job is to violate our liberties. Ron Paul article on Infowars.com. Absolutely, that's its job. That's why it's the go-to for all this criminality. That's just some of the news on that front. Oh, here, let's look at this news stack from yesterday. Surgeons, this is stuff I didn't get to yesterday, surgeons now cutting out healthy prostate glands of men who carry the BRCA gene. But why is prostate cancer in the Western world up over 2,000% since the 1950s? Look it up. In fact, I'm being conservative. Some estimates of some types of prostate cancer up over 5,000%. Type 2 diabetes up several thousand% in the U.S. population. It's set to be half of Hispanics by 2015 and half of everybody by 2020. Look it up. Half of us are going to have burnout pancreases. Folks, we're not in Kansas anymore, and it's not that we're drinking more sugar. People used to, I looked at the studies, people used to eat more unhealthy 30, 40 years ago. Everybody knows that. Hell, people were skinny, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes, drinking whiskey every night. You'd eat a big chicken fried steak, gravy, everything else, and then have a piece of cake and go to your office job, and you didn't look like people do now. They feed GMO to the rats. They look just like us. I said I'd try to just read each headline. I'm sorry. Surgeons now cutting out healthy prostate glands of men who carry BRCA gene. Mike Adams, naturalnews.com, Infowars.com story. UK man has prostate removed after tests revealed Jolie gene flaw. Again, we have predisposition with different genetics for different things. Some for heart disease, some for cancer, some for rage. That's an attribute. Some for depression. Some for eczema, some for this, some for that, some to be more susceptible to the flu, some to not be. Some people have thicker skulls. Some people can take a stronger punch. Some people are more susceptible to not being able to take a punch. Some people can take more crap. Other people can't. There's all sorts of people in the world. And it's our genetics. You know, like some cars can take, 1,200 or 7,000, whatever it is, RPMs, 10,000, 15,000 RPMs. Some cars can't take 5,000 RPMs. You'll blow the engine. I forget the RPM designation. You don't say, oh, this car needs to have its engine removed because it can't, have super RPMs like a souped-up Corvette. You don't say, this car has bad genes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the garbage. They're telling you it's your genes that have the problem. But we already had these same genes 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and weren't dying in mass. Didn't have. What's the increase from 1 in 30,000 with autism? Or no, 1 in 25,000 30-something years ago to now 1 in 50-something? I mean, how many tens of thousands of percentile increase is that? This stuff is off the chart, and no one wants to talk about it. They want to just ease us into this death. And then Angelina Jolie has both her breasts removed. And again, different types of eye cancer are up. Very rare, now becoming common. Do we have our eyes removed preemptively? Colon cancer is way up. Have your colon removed preemptively? Cancer of the lungs is way up, even though smoking's gone down. Look it up. Are we going to have our lungs removed? How about our brain? Brain cancers. Cancers that weren't even known in the brain are skyrocketing because of different cancer viruses, mainly in the vaccines that embed themselves. That's on record. Should we have our brains removed? You're like, well, you would die with your brain removed. Let me tell you, you take your lung out, it's going to ruin the rest of your life, folks. Do you have any idea the hell we're going into? And look at this. Look at this headline. This is CBS News. CDC, 1 in 5 U.S. school children may have mental disorder. That's because they're listing everything as a mental disorder. Feed them red dye, feed them high fructose corn syrup. Put them in front of televisions and computers all day, rewire their brains, and then wonder why they act like gibbering idiots. And then the answer is put them on Ritalin. Put them on other speeds, and their brains burn out. Then put them on other stuff. Then put them on stuff to put them to sleep at night. And then you get drug addict zombies. And what did the New Freedom Initiative say in 2005 it was going to do? The New Freedom Initiative, amply Orwellian named. They said, we're going to put half the kids in America on psychotropics. And they went then from about 10% to 20%. So just in 7, 8, 9 years, I don't know how many years that's, 8 years, they've gone from 10% on drugs to 20%. And in captive audiences of foster kids, 68 to 69% national average, look it up, are on psychotropics alone. You add in other drugs, it's like 80-something%. Look it up. Look it up. When they have it, folks, these people are not going to stop. You understand? So I've got that whole stack of news. Now, I haven't even gotten into the huge IRS giant bombshell developments, the giant stalking and persecution of Fox News reporters for just going and asking a State Department person, do you think Kim Jong-un is really unstable? Oh, you're arrested for that. I mean, this is a reign of terror if they get away with it.
I'm Darren McBreen, and these are some of the new items that are available now at InfoWarsShop.com.
Alert the public to Obama's blatant abuse of power with the new Obama t-shirt. Obama's Joker face on the front and come and take it on the back. It's time to publicly call him out for what he is, a tyrant. Defend the Second Amendment with our top seller Come and Take It t-shirts. And look at that, women's cut tank tops and t-shirts now available. Nice hat. Plus the Don't Tread on Me flag. And now you can become a micro distributor of the InfoWars magazine. Plus, get your own copy delivered right to your door each and every month. And if you're tired like I am of you and your family being exposed to polluted drinking water, get the Pro One high performance water filter. It gets rid of all pathogenic bacteria, cyst, fluoride, heavy metals, and numerous other contaminants.
So join the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.
Look, the top stories are coming up, but let me just continue just randomly here with a stack. I have, no exaggeration, 30-something stacks of every article off the chart. I could spend 3 hours on it, going into the background of it, what it means, what it signifies. And again, the good news is that America and the world is really starting to wake up. And when you realize how passive the general public is that isn't awake, that's how the globalists have gotten away with all this. But for those of us that are awake and active, we can basically take the world back, folks. I've been doing some tests locally I'm going to talk about in the next few weeks just to see how powerless the system is. And it's incredible. It's incredible that if we all just start resisting in little ways, it will fail. And you've also got to discredit the system, speak out against them. That power of saying, you're crooks, we know you're illegitimate. They need people to go along with the fraud that the government's run by good guys. And yeah, the guy on the street may be the best guy in the world. The cop on the beat, I got to say it, and I looked it up, they were police. I ran into 4 cops yesterday at a university I was at, and they were all listeners. And I mean wild-eyed listeners. And, basically said, we're with the rebels, we know what's going on. So that's good news. But see, they are under the command of a corrupt system. So it's up to us to take that system back and not let the system play us off against them. Because as mad as I get at the police being out of control, that's part of the globalist plan, is to hate them so that we then get into a fight with each other. Instead of going, hey, what you're doing is wrong. I'm going to speak out and resist what you're doing through the Constitution, but I'm not going to hate you because you're screwing your own future as well. And I'm going to try to give aid and comfort to good police and good military that have courage to stand up and do the right thing. And I'm telling you, folks, that's the essence of having a free society, is just doing what's right and standing up. It's that Aaron Tippin song. We ought to try to dig that up and come back with it. I know it's in the computer. Daddy didn't like trouble, but if it came along, everyone that knew him knew which side that he'd be on. And, the song goes on that, he wasn't a hero or this county's shining light, but you could always count on him to do what was right. And I'm actually the kind of person that doesn't enjoy trouble. I'm a very private, very quiet person off air. But I can't help it when somebody tries to wrongfully dominate me, and if they've got a look of dominance in their eyes, trying to intimidate me, man, you just hit my buttons. And I've done everything I can in 18 years, really 20 years fighting, but 18 years on air, to fight them. And look what I've built. And I'm nobody, folks. I know who you are out there. I know you're leaders. It's in you. And you know you're a leader if you've got that tingle in your heart and soul right now. If you've got that electricity in your mind right now, that's because you know your destiny is to stand up and be a leader. So stop trying to make a pilgrimage to Austin, Texas to meet Alex Jones and think that that's where you're going to get the answers of what you should do.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.